Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time once again to delve into the realms of Steve Jackson's Sorcery. Now, I would have liked to do this a few days ago, but hey, here we go. Also, there's going to be no painting update on the Archmage today because I still don't have my painting area and haven't been able to do anything, but that just means that when I do get the opportunity to paint, I'm going to be doing so with added enthusiasm and gusto. So hopefully we'll see some quicker progress on him. We find ourselves here at the gates, not of Babylon, great song by the way, or of the Archmage's fortress. We also have 1 gold and 1 portion of rations. Looking at the size of this, we probably want to blitz through this in about 2 days, so we might have almost the perfect amount of food. In theory, if we take our... Hello? Ooh, tumble down wall. That looks like a good way in. However... so this comes to here. This does not quite join up. We might be able to use a spell to get down there, but I doubt it. So then this could be accessed from down here. This waterway goes off the edge of the map. So there's no obvious... This area around here I don't think we were able to access. Okay, so how do we want to get in? Well... We're currently disguised as a monk, so if we just walk up to the gate and expect to be allowed through, that would be the expected behaviour, right? And they could turn me away, but hey, there's a hole in the wall here we can see through. It looks like a repeat of the top of the tower, just so that if we... So they like drew the whole thing on, then put the 3D models on top, right? So that's just their... I mean, that hole is unfortunate, but... Oh! Oh! Right, okay, I get it. Because of here, you see. So it's not a hole... necessarily. Oh, no, it is. I was thinking the gaps between the spikes might have created the hole visually, but no. Alright, well, let's get on to it. Eh? There's enough of me faffing around with that. I've got a limited opportunity to record today, so I should get on with it and stop messing about. From here, you can make out a few swooping patrols of birdmen crisscrossing the city and the passes on either side. They're on the lookout for something. You have been too slow. A few carts rumble up the road from the east towards the main gate. I wasn't... Look, I spent a long time in the Baklands, but I stopped any warnings and messages getting through. So they're suspicious the serpents haven't returned yet, right? But, okay, this breaks the logic of the original adventure a bit, because these serpents are supposed to be warning the Archmage that I'm coming, right? But they've been sent out to find me coming, see me coming, and then go report to him when I come, right? Whereas... And to stop me if they can. Whereas in this version, they were sent out explicitly to stop me, which means he already knows I'm coming. So them not warning him doesn't make as much of a difference. But okay, they've been gone too long, a bit of a high alert. Or maybe this is just a generic, regardless of whatever happened. I'll look at the Citadel. You take a moment to drink in the sight. Mampang's walls are towering and they march away on either side, guard turrets jutting against the dark blue sky. The fortress is the size of a small city, and somewhere inside is the crown of kings. Yeah, at the top of that big tower at the back, probably. Let's look for some ways in. You scan the area for entry points. So we got the main gate, obviously. Not the optimal choice. A short, well-paved road leads right up to the main gate. It is bound in strips of iron and taller than most trees. Carts approach the gate in orderly fashion. Most are searched, emptied, and turned around quickly. A few are allowed into the gate. Guards armed with bows stand ready to cut down any unwelcome visitors. So, if I try and hide in a cart to get in, it's not going to go well for me, unless I can cast an invisibility spell shortly before we reach the gate, hop off the cart and walk through while they are examining stuff. Following the wall with your eyes, you see a path following the stone wall of the keep westwards. There may be another entrance that way, where I could cast a dop spell to open the door and get in. Finally, away to the east, the road from the gate disappears off towards distant lands. Heading that way would mean leaving the citadel behind. Time to make your choice then. Let's watch the carts a little longer. You watch the carts carefully. Each is laden with goods. The guards inspect them fairly cursorily, patting down their contents before waving them through. I could hide in a cart. Will I be denied the opportunity to cast an invisibility spell as I approach the gate if I'm hiding in a cart? If they find a monk hiding, they're going to suspect he's not a monk. The gate is busy enough that it might be possible to slip through. I mean, my feeling is, right, if I come in through here, through this postern gate, this is going to be a very busy area, especially with these gaps in the walls of the fortress. I wonder if these ruins are the results of beams from the beacon on the Archmage's Tower. I doubt it, though. This entry courtyard could be heavily guarded. There appear to be lots of statues. I'm going to presume those are statues. And we want to get out into this area here. This could be like barracks. But I am feeling that the main gate, maybe... Hang on, if I go around here, is there an obvious... No, there's no obvious way in. Interesting that that option is given, though. So yeah, my feeling is that once inside the gates, this area will be less heavily scrutinized. Well, no. Right. This is a guards on duty area, so the guards will be in a higher state of alert. But this will be routine, normal, run-of-the-mill stuff for them. This area here, some kind of training ground or something next to the barracks, is an area that's supposed to be off-limits to normal citizens, right? In as much as the fortress might have anything approaching normal citizens. Essentially, visitors to the fortress are supposed to come this way and walk through here, and the guards will just wave them through and go, yeah, or be on your way, get out of here. If they see you here, it's high alert, what the hell are you doing here? This area is off duty. Sound the alarm, right? So I'm going to risk heading for the main gate, and I may very well seal my death warrant, but here we go. Should have probably hidden in a cart as well. Oh, a spell! Hang on, if I cast a spell and go invisible within... Can I do that before I'm within eyesight of the guards so they don't see me wink out of existence? Because that could... The main gate of Mampang is not as large as those of Khare, but boasts many more guards. They cluster at the entrance, stopping every traveller with questions. Let's watch the guards a little. The guards move about listlessly, following no set pattern. Some seem disinterested, others sharp-eyed and keen. Through the open gates, you get your first glance of Mampang, though all you see is a yard hemmed in by tall walls. Ooh, American though, instead of English though. Then you see the... because it's short for all though, so it should have an apostrophe before the T. Then you see the citadel rising at the centre. Mampang is in fact two places, one inside the other. A walled city with a deadly citadel at its heart. That's interesting. You'd think the citadel would be around the edge, but... Oh, no. Because if it's... Yeah. Right. The city veers between lawlessness and oppression, controlled by sadistic guards and criminal thugs. But you know the inner fortress is home to far worse. Death traps, monsters, and the fanatically loyal soldiers of the Archmage. Let's cast a spell. Yeah. Yeah. Not. Okay, there's either going to be someone pointing an arrow or crossbow bolt at me, or a sign that says, like, no magic in it. You open your arms to cast a spell, but seem to find no starlight above you. There must be some kind of magical defense in place, like the mag spell. A passing merchant elbows you in the ribs. "Sorcery, is it?" she remarks. "Look up there." She points to the guard turret to the left of the door. I'll look up. You follow the line of the merchant's finger to a rack of spikes set around the rim of the turret. There are small things skewered onto the spikes, some mere skeletons, others winged and broken. "Minimites," the merchant remarks. "When they catch one, that's where they go." With that, the merchant moves away, but if the gate is so well protected, what will the fortress itself be like? Probably not so much, they can't have that many minimites. Well then, no spells. Should have probably hidden in a cart. The gate itself is made of a dark wood that you do not recognize, but the doors are open. Both the doors are open, but more than a dozen guards stand by, with more inside. A group of merchants and travellers are on the road from the east, lining up to be let in. Most sit on carts, pulled by mules, though a few are on foot. I could wait, push my way to the front like an idiot and draw attention to myself. Talk to a merchant. If I talk to a merchant, I'm kind of blending in with the line a bit. If I'm chatting a bit, looks like I'm with them. Now, if there's trouble and the merchants need a scapegoat, then they might point me out and go, outsider, outsider, he's not with us. But if there's no trouble and I'm just chatting to them and it looks like then I'm okay. So yeah, talk to a merchant. You walk beside a merchant. Greetings, just hello. Yeah, it's a good start. What are you selling? It's a way of getting their interest. Have you ever been inside Mampang before? Is the kind of thing a stranger might say if he was interested in striking up a conversation. Like, hey, have you ever been in there? What are you selling? You ask. Cloth and bat wings, the man replies. The bat wings are used to fix holes in the cloth. Have you been inside Mampang before? The merchant looks at you with surprise. No one goes inside, the merchant replies. Don't you know that? We do our trading at the gate, and I'm glad of it. If you don't go inside, who pays you? Well, the guards, obviously. The guards handle the gold, he sighs. Oh, it must be a fabulous life in the monasteries, not having to know how coin works. I'm glad I got away with that because of my disguise. The man, it seems, has nothing of substance to sell, but it passes the time until you finally reach the gate. The guard who stops you is holding a parchment. You notice his purse is heavier than most. He looks up about to ask your business, but falls silent and backs away. Guards! Guards! He cries. This is the Analander! To arms! The guard reaches for his sword as a crowd of his companions rush over. You are severely outnumbered. I don't have time to look around. Not going to cast a spell. Draw my sword. No, leg it. You run off, pursued by several guards. One fires an arrow that slashes your side. As you near the hills, you turn to see that only one guard has managed to stay in pursuit. She does not look as if she will tire soon. I'll keep running for a bit. And she comes to me anyway. You keep running, but the guard catches you, striking you to the ground. So took more damage. You roll you roll and leap to your feet, sword drawn. Okay. I got a bit more skill, so I can go slightly higher. If I defend, I'm letting her get a hit in, but setting myself up for a good next round, so I can see how much she exhausts herself. Ooh, she went shallow. Okay. Giving a chuckle, the guard lifts her sword and attacks. You count on your magic shield. What magic shield? I didn't cast a magic shield spell. To absorb the stab as she attempts to force you back with a quick flurry. You're mostly left without a scratch thanks to your quick blocking. She puts her blade against her chest, So, more defensive. Let's go like a 2-ish. Yeah. Raising your sword, you rush in, hoping to skewer the guard on your blade, teasing her with a sharp nick, wearing her down. She turns your blow smartly away, That's not how you spell betraying. Betraying great discipline. She waits for you to move. So, I'll go for a 2.4. She's building up for a big attack, isn't she? You strike again. Snatching up a handful of dust, you throw it at her eyes. The guard ducks long after she should have. She struggles to breathe. She pauses. In! No, not quite. Let's go for like a 6. You lunge forwards again. Rushing forward, you aim a steady lunge to skewer her heart. Through that plate? No. I mean, these are scales, but that plate there is going to offer quite a bit of protection, as are these pauldrons. I mean, what's that? Like a gorget, essentially? No, not really. It's because that's just a neck rim. That's just a weird placement. The guard stumbles. She is weakening. Keeping an eye on the street, she kicks the earth with her shifting footwork. Oh, she's going for... I'm going to go defend. Yeah, good choice. You prepare your sword in defense as the guard swipes her blade. You duck and roll. You're for the most part intact thanks to your guard. And she's gone in heavy. I'm going to go really super heavy. Let's go... yeah. Oh, yeah. Readying yourself, you rush in. Moving quickly, you thrust a steady stab to skewer her eye. The guard is vulnerable, swinging so wildly and cannot protect herself. The guard's eyes are bloodshot and panicked. She waits for you to move. I'm going in for the kill as long as This should do it. So I say, as long as I beat her, I've won. You keep up the momentum. Striding in, you aim a steady lunge to skewer her ankle. You cut the guard down. Yes, killed her in the ankle. That important, vital spot. I mean, maybe if you're Achilles, absolutely. So I'll obviously finish her off when she's down on the ground. Decent dueling. I'll take it. I do want an option to remove that try again button to make it the game a little more deadly. Maybe the replay offers that. I don't know. You step back, the echo of the blows of the fight taking a few moments to die. Then all is quiet. It seems that no one is pursuing you, and I am obviously nowhere near the gate. Well, what a disaster. You make your way back to the road. The wind picks up as the evening draws on. So they saw right through the disguise. I clearly looked like a foreigner. So disguise helped with the merchants, didn't help with the guard. The wind picks up as the evening draws on. Soon it'll be dark once more. You will have to see what you can do. Either that, or they have like a, wanted posters circulated with an artistic depiction of me. So, time to live really dangerously. You follow the path past the main gate and around the curving stone wall of the fortress. The sun lowers towards the horizon. The path opens up here into a wide plateau directly beneath a guard turret. Crossing it will leave you quite exposed and visible. I'm going to look up for minimites. You shield your eyes against the sun as you look up at the turret. At the top is a sentry post that would offer an excellent view across the landscape. A guard stands leaning on a staff, looking out over the land below, and I'm going to cast a spell. Trying for the non-magic option would be very tricky here. Gaining access to the fortress tool as a warrior would be tricky. Right. You put on the pearl ring and weave the enchantment. Gradually, a thin glow exudes from the jewel of the ring and uncovers you. I should now be invisible. And I'm going to walk across the plateau. You walk calmly across the plateau, trusting on your spell to keep you safe. When I get to the gate, I'll cast another spell. Actually, possibly just before that. You follow the path further along the curve of the mountainside. Far below, a river rushes at the foot of the deep chasm that opens 2 steps to your left. The dewy light from your pearl ring fades and disappears. The sun is now in the lowest quarter of the sky. It'll be dark soon. So I'm visible again, which means I can take the time to look around. I'll look at the side gate. The side gate is no main entrance, but it is still impressively large. Because looking at things takes up time, and if my spell wore off while I was looking at things and I was detected because I appeared, that would be another matter. The fact that I've appeared already, standing still puts me at risk somewhat, but significantly less risk because, the risk is already there. The wall of the fortress is built from blocks of stone you haven't seen since the ruined steps down into the Baklands. They must have been carried and laid by enchantments. Enchantment! You'll know the reference. If you don't, that's fine. If you do, good on you. Well, yeah, first game was good. After that, straight downhill. I mean, second one was rushed. Third one was just terrible controls and unplayable. And full of SJW nonsense. Right. No creature could... Yes. They must have been carried and laid by enchantments. No creature could have assembled them on the edge of this precipice, with such a narrow space to work. At the end of this path, a side gate is set into the wall. I'm not going to look for climbing holds on the... Well, no, they wouldn't expect me to come climbing up of the wall, but if I do appear over the battlements, on the parapet itself, well, over the merlons or the matriculations. Merlons are more like arrow slits, aren't they? I can't remember. Right. Let's look into the chasm, just on the offside, and hope I don't get bad. Wobbly, sense of balance, nausea. You look down into the chasm. Stone-black water rushes far beneath, tearing through the underground chasms that skewer the mountain's roots like the rot in an old man's gums. I'm going to make a move. The path follows the chasm's edge, and I shall follow it. I don't see a way down to there, but maybe that's somewhere I access from the inside and go outside and look for stuff. Avoiding the watchful eyes of the birdmen circling above the ramparts, you sneak towards the door. The side gate is much smaller than the main gate and is probably used for patrols. No guards came pouring out through the side gate when the alarm was sounded, so that's good. The side gate is much smaller. Yeah. The sun has almost set and the sky has turned a deep purple. Soon it will be dark once more. I could hide behind a bush. Now, there's no silence spell. I cast a spell if that door is like bolted or barred and that opens, then I'm in trouble. You approach the door, sizing it up. It seems solid enough. You may not be able to smash it open, even if you could do so silently. And there does not seem to be a lock. It must be barred on the other side. There is a stone overhang over the doorway. You could perch there, but it wouldn't be high enough to climb over the wall. So yeah, perch there to ambush someone as they come out. Or... what's that short-range teleport spell that could get me inside without zip, right? Is zip available? Dop is the obvious choice. Knock on the door and trick my way in, quite possibly. Once again, you cannot seem to craft any magic out here. Oh, well, in that case... climb up to the overhang and ambush someone, like drop down and get through it. If people come out, there's going to be someone inside to close the door, because the bolt is on the inside. Knock on the door. If someone comes to open it, instead of... Look, they're lazy, they're chaotic, they might not yell at someone on top of the wall to go, like, drop a spear on my head or something. You knock a few times. You can hear the faint sounds of cursing and muttering and what sounds like an argument from behind the door. Demanding, it'll get a reaction, not necessarily a very good one. Wait. Knock again, as in keep knocking to make them want to... This is more arrogant. I'm dressed as a monk. Unlock again. You knock again with a little more force this time. The argument on the other side intensifies until you can clearly hear one voice shout, "All right, I'll get it. Don't you trouble yourselves by Greg's nostrils." Do I draw my sword? Selves. There's more than 2 people. Oh, shit. Do not draw my sword. Do not attract aggression. The door opens, revealing a black elf guard in patchwork armour. Her eyes narrow in suspicion. "Who are you?" she asks. Her right hand rests lightly on her sword. A male guard peers over her shoulder from further inside. Merchant, a traveller. I'm not a merchant. I'm dressed as a monk. I am a spy for the Archmage. Yeah, but if so, would I literally say that? I bring your doom. Now, I'm a traveller. It's a little too bland and generic. Let's risk it. I am a spy for the Archmage. You reply. Are you now? The tall guard demands with some amusement. Good spy you are, coming out of it like that. Are you not to be trusted? Should I report this to the Archmage? Now, don't start that kind of thing, the guard replies. We're all loyal to the Archmage, every woman and man, and we don't have anyone making trouble. The guard begins to close the door. I'll push the door open. You give the door a hard shove. The guard grits their teeth. Then they rush forwards. The taller guard lunges and you're on the ground before you can even draw your assassin's sword. Well, that paused up, didn't it? I will struggle because if I am a spy and outrank them, they shouldn't be oppressing me. You struggle and tug at your captors, but it is no good. They pin you down, sitting on your arms. From there, you're battered and trussed up like an animal, then dragged towards the dungeons by your ankles. Let's see you talk like that when you're locked up, the guard snarls. Yeah, sure, just... Hey, I got inside. You are hauled inside the gate and dragged to a broken section of wall in the yard. The shadow of Mampang falls over you like a cloak. It is as though the sun itself has dimmed, and you feel suddenly more cold and alone than ever before. A voice in your head whispers, "Good luck," before fading into the murmur of waves. You have entered the citadel of Mampang. Here no decisions can be rewound. I like the little lightning bolt on there. That probably had a thunder sound as well. Just a reminder, the game does use some copyright music, and that's why I'm keeping music turned off, which does unfortunately turn off all the sound effects as well. The mountain slopes away out of sight. Wind whistles far below. I am just a monk. I told him I was a spy. But this does maybe imply there was a way to, I'm going to say, would you say you're a spy, monk? We don't believe you. I may be able to cast spells here. Struggle, if I'm still held. Why have you brought me inside? Can't I just, yeah, just struggle a bit. You struggle against your bonds, but with no great success. The second guard kicks you hard in the back of your knees and you collapse into the dirt. The guards are discussing amongst themselves in worried voices what to do with you. I can't cast spells with my hands tied, can I? So... Why have you brought me inside? You ask quickly. Why don't you just leave me outside the gate? Orders, says one. Shut it, says the other and punches you in the mouth. We can't just kill him, can we? Murmurs one of the guards fearfully. Just like that? Oh, if this truly is the Analand, the other replies, then we must. Offer a bribe. If you untie my hands, I can cast the illusion of gold and wealth and riches spell, which you would all love. But they might say, why don't we just keep your hands tied up and search through your stuff anyway? we go, ew, what's all this magic shit? But they won't know what it is because they don't know much about magic, right? Thing is, I've kind of broke this one by saying I was a spy. So, look, how about I give you something? Free me, you murmur, and I will make you both very rich indeed. Not much use being rich when you're skinned, the first guard replies straightforwardly. They certainly kill treacherous guards, don't they? Again, American English, traitorous, not a word in English. Treacherous, yes. Treasonous, yes. Traitorous, no. Oh, yes, the other replies. Have to, really. The first guard nods in agreement. How should we do it, the first guard asks. Just a straight stab? You're not afraid to use your sword, are you? The other goads. Why don't you chuck me over through that gap in the wall? You know. And then I'd be, like, not really dead because I got loads of stamina. Probably dead. Look, hands are tied, but I gotta try, right? You look up to the heavens, hoping for magic to save you, but with your arms bound, you cannot cast a spell. Knew it. Maybe we could give him a chance. He's one of those monks, after all. Not too big a chance. Just a little chance. Yeah, I'm just a monk. You cry. We were told the Analand was a whirly one guard tells the other. A disguise. Good thing we were being so observant. The first guard thinks, then clicks his fingers. I know, he declares. We'll chuck him over the wall. If he falls, he falls. If he flies, he flies. He doesn't have any wings. The first guard nods. All right, the second guard agrees. They begin to haul you to a slumped section of the wall that looks out over the chasm beyond. Oh, you'll have to free my wrists if you want to see if I can fly. You remark. I can't fly with my hands bound. The guards consider this, then nod. This is right up there with there's a beautiful Swiss story about a spy who eventually gets captured by his enemies and he says, look, whatever you do, I'm incredibly ticklish. Please don't tie me up with ropes made of straw. So they go and make some ropes out of straw to tie him up. And he pretends to, he giggles and laughs and stuff and then just, like, breaks the straw ropes because it's really fragile and just runs away. There's a lot more to it than that. He goes and steals things from the Turks 3 times, and the first 2 times the head Turk's parrot warns them that, is it Tredasheen? Yeah, Tredasheen. The Swiss spy. He's like, Tredasheen is stealing your favourite horse! And things like that. And then eventually the 3rd time he has to go and steal the bloody parrot. And that's when he says, don't tie me up with ropes made of straw. Oh, great stuff. Yeah. The guards consider this, then nod. Fair enough. One slices through the bonds in your hands, and the other kicks you hard in the stomach, sending you reeling backwards. You topple over the edge of the precipice beyond, and cast a spell! Or, the thing is, if I cast a spell, that'll attract their attention. You are falling off the side of the mountain of Mampang to certain death. I will cast not Zen, but Fal. Right? I could do Zen. Fix? I mean, it would stop me falling, but... Okay, well, Zen it is then. Nothing from a J. So there's got to be some partial spell. Ooh. Gum. I'm just looking at the options here. Gak. I could make them scared as I fall. Or I could make myself very scared as I plummet down towards my doom. Illusion of worship. Make them go, oh my god, it was amazing how he fell down. That was epic. We shall worship him for the rest of our life. No, I think I'll, If I had said I will fly up and kill you both, that would scare the living shit out of them. If I fly up without having said that, zip, teleport back up there. Interesting. No. Reaching up to the constellations above, you create the spell and the medallion begins to glow as you rise gently into the air. A moment later, you float upwards. The guards scream with fear and flee before you can land once more. "Oh, hell, he's coming to get us! He's flying through the air! Run for your very lives! Ah!" I could settle in the yard or float over the inner wall, which would put me comfortably... What, this inner wall or this inner wall? There could be loads of guards in here. I'm going to go for bypassing some danger. You have just enough power in the spell to float across the yard and towards the wall. There we go then. And that looks like a field of wheat or something. The spell gives out just as you clear the wall. You land on thick grass which cushions you somewhat from the drop. You're in the shadow of the outer wall, but you are inside the city. I will look around, but I should be casting a spell very quickly. You look around at the field. The plants here are 3 times taller than anything you've seen before, no doubt forced to abundancy by controlling magic. This place might feed the whole of the citadel. I am casting a spell. I want to be invisible again. If I'm going to act like a spy, I should act like a spy. No why. No yaz. I could fly again. Why would I cast a lightning bolt? I don't see a door to open yet. How? Costs stamina, and I might be able to work it out for myself. Walk? Am I expecting a fight? I don't think so. So the fact that I'm being presented with the opportunity to cast a spell means that at least one of these is probably a good choice. Sure, let's go with a how. You spin the constellations into shape around you. A steady voice enters your mind. The voice informs you that there is a door out of the field on the eastern side. Its words spoken, the enchantment fizzles away. Wading through the long wheat like this will be hard work. Night has fallen. You need rest. This may be a good place to sleep. Eastern side. Oh yeah, compass east. Yes. There's a building there. Right. Sleep in the wheat field. As long as I don't oversleep and get awoken rudely by someone tending to the crops in the morning, that's fine. I'd have to be sleeping pretty heavy at that point, because if they come searching through a field, I might be able to get away with it. There's also this broken down section of wall here, though, which doesn't get me access to... So if I fell down here, I'd be on this ledge, so it's not really a way in. This could be another way of getting chucked out. I don't see anything down here to try and get, however. This building has probably got gardening and farming supplies. It would be a good place to seek shelter and sleep, but also if anyone comes here in the morning, they're likely to go to the building first. I could go straight for the gate and try to find somewhere here, or I could just sleep in the corn. Like, what's it, Pryderi's father, or father-in-law, and Welsh mythology there now. You walk through the long grass, then something large slithers over your foot. Hopping back, you see a large snake disappear into the wheat. I'll back away. You back away from the snake. The stalks close around you. Where did it go? Probably this way, but I'll try it anyway. Back to the wall is probably the safest option, but I'll try. You strike onwards through the field of wheat. The stalks nearby shiver, and then the snake you saw earlier bursts up. You twist away as it rears up and goes for your neck, and your blade is out before it can disappear again. You track it with hawk eyes. But you have fought larger serpents than this one. I'm going to cast a flipping spell. Cut down the wheat. No, it's my camouflage. I was correct, and I should be L. Law. Yes. Go away, serpent. You cast the spell. The creature stops in its tracks. Its will now bent to yours. If I kill it, someone might find the dead snake chopped up with a sword. If I send it away, though, it could come back. Forcing the creature to stay still, you step forward and decapitate it. Dominating the snake as you are, its death feels like losing a limb. Stalks break and crack as you walk on. The moon sets. More stars appear. Ruins. Yeah, the ruins. Field. This is a little too central for a resting spot, so yes, this way. You pass on through the tall, swaying stems. You're picking your way over low, scattered ruins. Wheat and grass stalks stick among the rock. The walls that remain suggest a curved tower, perhaps a guard turret. Let's explore the rubble a bit. You pick your way into the centre of the ruined shape. Low walls form a rough circle, though what remains rises no higher than head height, and the grass grows long inside. Built into one wall is a rack of rusted weapons, probably far too useless to use. But let's have a look. You examine the rack, but the weapons are all rusted and chipped. Even if they were not in such poor condition, the workmanship marks them as inferior to your assassin's sword. Cheap iron blades, these must have been standard issue for whichever guards were stationed here. You would be hard-pressed to find such shoddily made weapons even at a rural market. How old are these? Probably a few thousand years old, or at least a few hundred years old. I'll search around in the grass for any... Ow! You wade deeper into the long grass, peering at the ground, and while searching, you step on the broken tip of a spear. It lances through your foot. The metal tip, along with a small spurt of blood, pokes from the top of your shoe. You sit in the grass and yank it out. But the pain is perhaps a necessary price, however, as in your administrations. You spy a trapdoor hidden in the glass. Well, ministrations is you're tending to a wound, not administrations, but I'll open the trapdoor. Now I'm really finding a good place to rest, allegedly. After several tugs, the rusty hinges give way and you open the trapdoor. Looking at the state of the ruins, it looks like nobody comes here. It looks like a safe place. Damp earth fills your nostrils. There is a short ladder leading down. I will go down the ladder. You climb down the ladder, your fingers pressing into the dirt as they grasp the rungs. Into the hidden chamber. And if it's really dark, I have my sun gem. You climb down into a cramped chamber dug directly into the dirt. A small bed and table are pressed against the wall with no room to spare. The wood of the bed frame is thoroughly rotten. It should be thoroughly rotten. And the table is gutted with holes. Some papers and assorted junk are scattered across the table. I'll read the papers. Most of the papers are faded from damp and age, but even the intact ones are in a language you do not recognize. I don't have a spell for that. The writing is full of loops and whirls, a twisting script that causes your head to swim as you try to puzzle it out. It's magic writing. On one of the sheets, another hand has been annotating the text. Well, I'll look at those then. Cramped, precise writing in far newer ink fills the margins, meaning someone might have been coming here recently after all. Comprised of living or animated rock. Starlight does not provide power. A living animal is the template, but is not part of the construct itself. So this is some kind of thing I may encounter. Without the context of the text, the notes are largely meaningless. This hovel is an odd place to find the notes of a scholar. You return the paper to the table, which I will search. You search the table. Most of it is writing materials along with scraps of wood, But among the clutter you find a small tinderbox, dry and intact. It is far newer than the rest of the table's contents. Someone must have dropped it. Strike a light. I'm underground. If I've left the trapdoor open like an idiot, this would not be a good idea. I'll lie on the bed. You lie on the bed, which immediately collapses under your weight. A cloud of rotten wood flings itself up into the air, and you choke and splutter on it as you stand. At least no one was around to see. I'm not going to make a light. I'll go back up. I don't get to rest here after all. You climb back up the ladder, grateful for the cool air, and you're not going to let me rest here, game, are you? You climb back up the ladder into the chill mountain air. You leave the ruins behind. The stars turn in the sky overhead. It's going to be a sleepless night, isn't it? You move onwards through the long grass, then suddenly you stop. You see a prone form lying in the grass up ahead. It could be Flanker. The figure is a strange creature with long, flat-bladed arms, a little like the curious farmers you saw in the fields of Lower Khare. The figure is fast asleep, an empty wineskin by its side. I will move around the figure. Careful not to wake the sleeper, you continue through the grass. Somewhere in the north you make out the shape of a stone spire rising above the stalks. It might be a good place to sleep, because you're not going to let me sleep anywhere else, are you? This is now the dead of night. Midnight Rogue was a great Fighting Fantasy game book for the first sort of 2/3 to 3/4. The last portion was a bit linear and just full of auto kills. You had to go through a mini dungeon. One wrong turn would give you an auto kill. I haven't seen that anywhere else apart from, I think, Lone Wolf Book 5. There was a portion at the end of Book 5 of Lone Wolf where any wrong turn is like 5 auto kills in a row or something. If you took any wrong turns, it was disastrous. You walk on through the field of wheat. So here I get to sleep, or I get to sleep in the building. You walk on through the field of wheat again. I could go back to the ruins, apparently. You stride onwards through the tall, swaying stems. The spire stands in front of you, as high as an ancient tree, but impossibly thin. How can it stay upright? At the base is an opening just large enough to enter. I'll look up at the spire first before entering. Could have a bunch of birdmen perched at the top. The spire is built from tiny stacked stones into a low pointed tower. It is clearly old and somewhat poorly maintained. There is a low door at its base, though it hardly seems large enough for a person to enter. I don't think I have a spell to make myself smaller. You could venture inside the dim space within the narrow spire. It should provide a safe place to sleep. The dead of night is still and cold. Well, like Johnson, in he go, or in I go. Inigo Johnson, famous, he wasn't a sportsman, was he a musician? Cellist? I can't remember. Might have been a sportsman after all. Weak moonlight filters in from above, but the ceiling is shrouded from view. There could be spiders. There is no floor, but the grass underfoot is pale and short because it hasn't had much sunlight recently. At the centre of the room is a small shrine, a cut stump of wood in which stands a tiny clay idol. I'll approach the shrine. You approach the shrine with cautious reverence. A hefty tree stump, it has been carried here and carefully cut and sanded. The idol on top is unpainted clay, and let's look at it. The idol is small enough that you need to squat to see it, though roughly made with pits and defects. It is human-shaped, clutching a sword that points towards the ground. It lacks a face and is unnaturally cold to the touch, as though it drank your warmth. I will not pray to the shrine. I will leave it alone, but first I will pray to Korga. I should have done this out into the field. It is bad manners to pray in the house of another god. So let's just not do that at all. He might not respond. Let's leave the shrine alone. You leave the shrine alone. You investigate around the shrine, but find nothing except a rotten ladder bolted to one wall, most of its rungs missing. Well, I'm not going to try and climb that, I'm just going to lie down here. This place seems safe enough. You lie down and gratefully close your eyes. But your sleep is not without interruption. In the dead of night, you are stirred by a bright light playing over your eyes. Well, I'd better open my eyes then. This could be really bad news if someone's come in. You lift your eyelids a crack to see a brilliant bright glow radiating from the idol on the altar. It pulses like a breath. Your breath clouds in front of your face. When did it become so cold? I will keep watching. This could be very bad news indeed. You watch, and a worshipper arrives. A hunched figure scuttles into the chamber to crouch before the idol. They have not noticed you, or else you are unimportant to them. They seem to be whispering to the idol, voice soft and pleading. I will lie very still. You wait, regulating your breath to appear asleep. The figure continues to whisper at the idol, their words becoming increasingly frantic. They stop mid-sentence, holding back a sob. After a long pause, they turn away from the altar, struggling to their feet. I let them go. I don't want them to know I was here. You let the figure pass. It slouches towards the door, but then stops at your feet, regarding you for a long while, once again choking on tears. Then the figure leaves the spire without a word, and the idol's glow fades. You sleep. You do not dream. I have been observed. I may awake to find spear points at my throat. Inside the spire. During the past day, you ate 1 provision, searched for wheat fields, and found 1 new clue. The Archmage is now looking for you. Probably because I alerted the guards. You leap to your feet once the dawn arrives. I will eat. You eat the apple, feeling much better for it. I will leave this building. You leave the spire. The sun breaks over the eastern wall. And now I will pray to Khare for healing. Khare is the god of grace. He is bountiful, generous, and full of great cheer. He does not approve of ill will or evil doing. I'm glad it didn't oppress whoever came in there. You pace through the long grass. The grass waves and wafts around your feet. This could be a bucolic paradise if it wasn't for the looming ghoul of the inner tower to the east. The early morning sun makes the air glow. You move onwards through the field of wheat. I did not run through it like Theresa May. You stand in the shadow of the inner wall by a heavy metal door. The door is closed, and it shall remain so until the very next episode. I hope you've all enjoyed this one, and I do look forward to seeing you all in the next one, which hopefully won't be too far off, and hopefully we'll have a painting update on the Archmage. But I'm going to say goodbye for now, and cheerio. See you all soon, guys. Bye-bye for now.